Starting from the age of 20, if anyone invests only 500 rupees per month in the share market, then gradually at the age of 60, he can retire as a crorepati. Or if anyone invests rupees 15,000 per month in the share market starting from the age of 25, then at the age of 40, he can become a crorepati too. And for doing so, you don't need to have educational degrees, you don't need to be very intelligent, and you don't need to be a very influential person in society. But still, 99% of people can never fulfill their lifelong dream of becoming a crorepati. But why? Today in this video, I will tell you exactly what is wrong with them, that 99% of people are unable to fulfill the dream of becoming a crorepati, and if you want to fulfill your dream to become a crorepati, then what is the easiest and risk-free way to do so? So let's find out the solution for this life problem. But before that, let me inform you that now you can book one-to-one video calling session with me from any country by following the link given below in the description. Mistake number 1. They think the share market is a place to gamble and stay away from it for the rest of their life. In developed countries like the US, 40 out of every 100 people invest in the share market. Whereas only 2 out of every 100 people in India invest in the share market. So what is the reason for this huge difference? The reason for this is hidden in the history of India's share market. When the first share market was introduced in India in 1875, there were a lot of frauds and scams going on within the share market. But since 1992, when SEBI, the government agency that regulates the share market, came into existence and everything was digitally converted, then after that the scenario has slowly started to change. And now that possibility of scam and fraud is almost non-existent. But before SEBI was established, thousands of people used to lose all their money in the share market and go bankrupt. This kind of scenario at the time had formed a very bad and negative picture about the share market in the minds of the common people of earlier generations. And this is the reason they still advise the next generation, that is their sons and daughters, to stay away from the share market. As a result, many of our generations still think it is wise to stay away from the share market. Mistake number 2. Staying away from the share market for fear of losing money. Okay, I do agree that the share market can make me a crorepati, but it is also true that the share market can make me a stray beggar. No, for me the bank is the best option, because no matter what happens, I will never lose my money if I put it into banks. With this wrong notion, 99% of the people stay away from the share market for their whole life. What is wrong with it? It is a wrong notion because it is true that there is a possibility of loss in the share market, but in the bank, there is no possibility of loss. Rather, you are definitely losing your money. Do you want to know how? In India, the inflation rate is around 6% at present, which means if the price of a thing is 100 rupees today, a year later it will become 106 rupees. The bank is giving you 5% interest. It means that if you keep 100 rupees in the bank today, the bank will give you back 105 rupees after 1 year. As a result, you will lose 106 minus 105 equals to 1 rupee in a year. Now think for yourself, which one is a better option? Having loss for sure or to have the possibility of loss? Problem number 3. Lack of patience. 2 out of every 100 people, which means 20 out of every 1000 people who finally invest in the share market, 19 out of those 20 people can't fulfill their lifelong dream of becoming a crorepati just because they lack patience. As the stock market fluctuates every day, and when it goes down a lot in a short period of time, 19 out of 20 people do panic and lose their temper and then get emotional and make the wrong decision. You may have noticed that at the beginning of the video, when I talked about the formula for becoming a crorepati, I said to invest regularly every month for 40 years or 15 years. And to be honest, in this digital age, being able to invest every month regularly is not a difficult task at all. It has become very easy nowadays. But the thing that is needed to be able to do this simple task is patience. And that is what most of us lacking today. So what can be done to solve these problems? let's find out how to fulfill your dream of becoming a crorepati by investing in the share market. Solution number 1. Learn first, then invest. Investing money in the share market is gambling if you start investing money without knowing anything about it. Most people are too lazy to learn anything new. I have to learn so much. But if you want to earn, you have to learn. If you do not want to learn too much, you can choose the mutual fund option. And if you have time, patience and desire to learn about the stock market, you can choose the option to invest directly in stocks. But you have to learn in both cases. In the case of mutual funds, you need to learn very little. But in case of direct investing in stocks, you have to learn a lot. Solution number 2. Invest in an index fund. If you stay away from the share market only because of the fear of losing money, then you can choose the index fund option. Because if you invest in an index fund, then your money will be automatically invested in small portions in the top 50 companies in the share market. As a result, even if 1 or 2 companies of the top 50 companies run at loss, the rest of the companies will run at profit. And in this way, there will be almost no possibility of losing your money. Solution number 3. Make SIP and forget. SIP means Systematic Investment Plan. Suppose you launch a SIP of Rs 500 per month in UTI Nifty Index Fund, then Rs 500 will automatically get deducted from your bank's savings account every month and will get invested in UTI Nifty Index Fund. So you don't have to remember to pay the money yourself every month. And as a result, the investment will continue on a regular basis. On the contrary, if you can forget about the SIP you made, the question of patience will not come up. Otherwise, if you sit down every day to see how your money has gone up or down, then if it is going down temporarily, you will panic and lose patience and make the wrong decision like withdrawing all the invested money. So I would say, make SIP and forget. Assume that you have not invested that money, you have spent it. You cannot get it back. Because only then you will be able to invest the money on a regular basis every month for as long as 40 years. If you want, you can easily start investing in an index fund, mutual fund or direct stocks from the comfort of your home by simply opening your account on Zerodha. To start your investment journey with Zerodha, submit your name and mobile number by following the link given below in the description. Thanks for watching. More wisdom, more solution, better life.